take 10th place at the line. Well, disaster for him on the final turn there, but victory for Martin Short, and I'm sure everybody who finished the race feeling thoroughly delighted with themselves. There is your top 6 then, the championship already decided in favour of Ian McKellar. Michael Caine finishes runner-up ahead of last year's champ Hindley.
2 races here at Silverstone to determine the outcome of the 1999 TVR Tuscan Challenge. Ian McKellar Jr., the man who leads the championship at the moment. Michael Caine, the man who could deprive him of the crown. Race 1 counts for 1/3 points, 38 cars on the grid, the biggest grid of the weekend here at Silverstone, ready for 12 laps of action. Pole position is Bobby Verden-Rowe in the silver car. He's not eligible for points though. We're on board as the lights go to green with Jamie Campbell-Walter. Good start by Verden-Rowe, but an even better start there by Steve Guglielmi, and Campbell-Walter tries to go around the outside of the pair of them, approaching Copse Corner. Martin Short there, locks up, hits the back of somebody's car. It was Guglielmi, he hit and then disappears stage left. Martin Short with a desperate bit of late braking there, almost ends up in Northampton. Now hopefully he can bounce his way out of the gravel trap. Yes, he has. He's not lost that many places, relatively speaking. In the meantime, Steve Guglielmi almost touching the tail of Ian McKellar's car there, coming into Beckett's. Bobby Verden-Rowe leads, getting a little bit crossed up as well as he comes into the braking area. Everybody else turns their way through. Number 45 there, Michael Caine's teammate, Simon Harris, just ahead of the orange car of Ed Sharp. Now on the run, down towards Abbey for the first time. Bobby Verden-Rowe getting away, but for second and third, Michael Caine just ahead of the checkered fronted car of Ian McKellar. Fourth is Guglielmi. They turn their way into the braking area now. Bang! Guglielmi loses it. He gets hit by Campbell-Walter and by Hindley. Somebody else getting involved on the inside. There is Ian Flux, the Steve Sutcliffe on the grass on the outside. Somehow Steve Guglielmi's managed to carry on with that. Jamie Campbell-Walter, though, is facing the wrong way. It certainly wasn't his fault, but he has come off worst of all, I reckon. Somebody else there on the grass trying to avoid all of that. It was possibly Phil Dyer's car, but in the meantime, Verden-Rowe leads. Second is Caine. Third is McKellar. Up to fourth is now Martin Short. Fifth is Mike Jordan. Sixth is Hindley. Grant Tromans is in 7th place as they come past the pits. But you can see now the field's been split up a little bit by them all having to take evasive action after the accident down at Abbey. Through Copse Corner come the rest of the field. Stephen Sutcliffe's dark green car there, which was delayed by going onto the grass. Hand in the air. I think that was Ian Flux as they go down through Copse, and he was putting his hand in the air to say there's a wave yellow flag. I'm going to lift off. Don't overtake me. Trying to work out why, however, is that wave yellow being displayed. Jamie Campbell-Walter comes into the pit lane, possibly to assess the damage. Let's have a look. Certainly the back of the car is very battered. This a replay from his perspective, going down towards Abbey. Ahead of him is Guglielmi. He taps the tail of McKellar, loses it. There's nowhere for Campbell-Walter to go, and wait for Flux to arrive. Wallop! Down towards Abbey. Look, Steve Guglielmi's white car brakes late. Ian McKellar just ahead of him there, gets a tap in the tail. That unsettles McKellar. And Campbell-Walter tries to scrabble through. There's nowhere for him to go. Phil Hindley hits Steve Guglielmi's car, and the pack split up as a consequence. In the meantime, though, Bobby Verden-Rowe is pulling away a little bit from Michael Caine. Mike Jordan looking for a way past Martin Short. Now, Caine doesn't really need to try and get ahead of Verden-Rowe. Bobby Verden-Rowe is not eligible for points, therefore he can't score any. So Caine is the real leader at the moment as there. Steve Cole gets tangled up with Ashley Ward. Steve Cole goes off to play at making sandcastles. Ashley Ward spins across the front of everybody else. They somehow manage to avoid him. Number 20, Ashley Ward ought to be able to rejoin there despite a bit of damage to the car. Martin Short locks up there, coming down towards Abbey. Where's he going? Martin Short skates across the grass up the escape road, turns round. Not quite sure what the semaphore is all about. Gets back on the tarmac, more places lost, and rejoins just in front of the next gaggle of cars, including there Richard Finney getting a bit sideways. Martin Short over the brow of the hill, heading into Bridge Bend now. Stephen Sutcliffe going through on the inside, taking a place away from Richard Finney, the former Porsche racer. Then Simon Harris in the silver car, and Martin Short's got a problem, look. He lets them all go past him, including Troy Dunlop. In the meantime, though, Bobby Verden-Rowe turns his way through Abbey for the last time now, on his way to a race win. The Colin Blower Motorsport prepared car runs now on towards the right-hander at Bridge Bend. Over the brow of the hill, dropping down through that dauntingly quick right-hander. In second place, Michael Caine. But importantly for Caine in all of this, he's going to take maximum points for the win. Verden-Rowe can't score points. He's not registered in the championship. So even though he will be second on the track, Michael Caine is on target for maximum points, at least in the first of the 2 races here at Silverstone. This counting for 1/3 of the points available. Race 2 counting for the other 2/3. So the all-important championship decider is going to come in the second race here at Silverstone. Bobby Verden-Rowe, in the meantime, makes his way up across the line. There is the checkered flag. Verden-Rowe, the winner here at Silverstone. Michael Caine comes through to finish in second place, with Ian McKellar chasing it home in third. And the championship is going to go down to the wire between the two of them. Verden-Rowe, Caine and McKellar, the top three from Jordan, Hindley and Grant Tromans. The final round of the TVR Tuscan Challenge, 12 laps, 2 third points on offer. Bobby Verden-Rowe on pole, Michael Caine alongside him. The second row of the grid has Ian McKellar Jr. on the inside, and lining up alongside him is Mike Jordan. The championship then to be decided, starting way back 33rd on the grid though, is Jamie Campbell-Walter. The other man to watch is Martin Short, starting 17th on the grid. Lights go to green, away they go. Good start then by Michael Caine. Good start as well by Ian McKellar Jr. on the inside line, but it's Caine who hangs on to the advantage, going down towards Copse for the first time. And look at this, Jamie Campbell-Walter almost as though he was on a PlayStation game, picking off cars left, right and centre, going down towards Copse. Caine, McKellar and Verden-Rowe, the top three, as they turn their way into Becky's for the first time. Good start by Martin Short as well in the Roll Centre car, the green Mill Valley entry, swinging his way on through Beckett's. Now the run out of Ireland and down towards Abbey for the first time. Headlights ablaze there, number 88 Martin Short picking his way past Richard Finney. But down towards Abbey for the first time. This is where yesterday we had all the dramas. Today I think they're going to behave themselves, turning their way through the right-hander now. And Martin Short there scrabbling through on the inside. Simon Harris about to lose a place there because right up alongside him is number 30. That is the car of Jeff Evans. Michael Caine in the lead, but not by a great deal, it must be said. Ian McKellar Jr. chasing after him as they turn their way out of Priory. On now towards the left-hander of Brooklands and then Luffield. Mike Jordan just ahead of number 1, Phil Hindley. At the top three running together now. Ian McKellar going to the inside line, turning into Luffield. He's got to get himself up alongside now for the run through Woodcote Corner. They lean on one another there. Michael Caine just having the advantage. On the tighter inside line though, Ian McKellar trying to come back at him side by side, almost wheel to wheel as they come past the pits there. McKellar on the inside and Bobby Verden-Rowe toes himself up onto the tail of them. They're three abreast into Copse Corner. Verden-Rowe goes through. Bobby Verden-Rowe through into the lead, but he's going wide, he's going off, he's going through the gravel. Over the grass, over the gravel, Bobby Verden-Rowe in real trouble. Clatters his way back onto the circuit. And then he's going to drop BVR, a former champion, way down the order. Caine and McKellar, though, are still fighting for the lead. The silver car just hangs on to it. Michael Caine ahead of Ian McKellar. Now, if things stay as they are now, with Caine leading from McKellar, that is going to be enough to give McKellar the championship. If Caine gets the fastest lap and wins the race with McKellar second, they're going to be equal on points, and then it will go down to a tie-break. In other words, Ian McKellar has got to stay in second place. He's also got to try and set the fastest lap just to cement the crown. Now, here he comes out of Abbey. Further back, wow, that's Jeff Evans. Leaving his braking desperately late, almost going up the escape road there. Bobby Verden-Rowe gains a place in the process of all of that. The race leaders, Caine, McKellar and then Mike Jordan, come across the line. Down towards Copse Corner, the silver car, a former road saloon racer, a former caterer champion, Michael Caine up front. And Ian McKellar Jr., who was so dominant at the start of the season, really is on the back foot in this second half of the year, trying to maintain the advantage in the championship. He could almost see that championship slipping away from him, though. He cannot afford to let Mike Jordan past him, and Jordan is right on the tail of McKellar now. They turn their way through Ireland, on down towards Abbey. The yellow and blue car of Ian McKellar has to find a way past Michael Caine, and preferably at the same time keep Mike Jordan behind him. It's very, very tempting when you're trying to attack and defend at the same time to make a small error and lose the place. Well, there McKellar locks up. He can't find a way past Caine. Equally, Mike Jordan can't find a way past him. Looking back from Bobby Verden-Rowe's car, Steve Guglielmi there behind. He's borrowed a bonnet off Mike Jordan's team. His own damaged yesterday. The replacement was stolen from outside his house last night. So Mike Jordan's team has stepped forward with more bodywork for him. And there is Jordan, being menaced now by number 1, Phil Hindley, the reigning champion. Turning their way out of Brooklands. Last year, Hindley won the championship by just 1 point. If things stay as they are, it's going to be a tie-break in 1999. Looking back from Verden-Rowe's car, Steve Guglielmi tucked up behind him. Feathering the throttle, turning through Luffield and back on the power. Up through the gears, through Woodcote Corner and across the line. The race leader, Michael Caine, turning through Copse Corner. Now, Mike Jordan, in the meantime, still hasn't found a way past Ian McKellar. He looks like he's close enough to have a go. Guglielmi is certainly close enough now to find a way past Bobby Verden-Rowe, but he'll have to do it under braking, I reckon. Yes! Up the inside goes Steve Guglielmi, another place gained. Michael Caine is now pulling away from Ian McKellar. The problem that McKellar Jr. has got is that all the time he's defending second place from Mike Jordan, he's got to take the slower lines, and that means that Michael Caine can concentrate on pulling away up front, and it's working for him, no question about it. Heading now down towards Abbey, down through the gears, second gear, through the corner. Back on the power, accelerating out of Abbey and on towards the right-hander of Bridge now. On board with Richard Stanton, newcomer to TVR Tuscan Racing this year. Ahead of him is Ed Sharp, and Stanton has to go on the inside there to try and gain a place. Ahead of him, in fact, number 99, is former champion John Kent. Clipping the bollard on the inside there of the left-hander of Brooklands. Phil Hindley onto the tail of Mike Jordan, turning their way up now towards Luffield. Ian McKellar Jr. hanging on a second place gain, very wide though there into Luffield. Now that should give the advantage to Mike Jordan, but he's not really close enough to have a go. He's a bit busy fending off Phil Hindley. Jamie Campbell-Walter in the meantime is saying to take a place away from Giles Cooper. Giles gives him racing room, slithers a little bit wide though, going through Brooklands. And JCW sawing away at the wheel, goes through, runs wide himself though at Luffield. Can Giles Cooper come back? Yes, he can. He needs no second invitation. Giles Cooper back through on the inside, but Mike Jordan has now closed right up again onto the tail of Ian McKellar. Turning his way now through the right-hander of Beckett's, Dunes with his mirrors absolutely full of Mike Jordan. Then Phil Hindley in fourth place. And all the while, Michael Caine is getting away. He's set the fastest lap of the race. Now, look at the championship situation. If things stay as they are now, in other words, Caine winning with the fastest lap and McKellar second, that means it is going to be a tie. This will be Michael Caine's 5th win of the season, but Ian McKellar has had 8, and so, even if things stay as they are now, he is going to be safe for the championship. Whether he is termed safe with Mike Jordan being so close is a matter for speculation. In the meantime, Bobby Verdon Rowe is being caught by Jamie Campbell-Walter. Down they come, nose to tail now through Abbey. Campbell-Walter, remember, fighting his way up from 33rd on the grid. Turning their way into Bridge. Through the right-hander, ahead of Bobby Verdon Rowe. Now another queue of cars, including Simon Harris as his next target, but Campbell-Walter goes for the inside line. He should be able to get past Bobby there. He does so. Up across the line goes McKellar. He's breaking away again there from Mike Jordan. Heading towards Cops Corner. Jordan once more with his mirrors full of Phil Hindley. And there is Martin Short. Martin Short up into 5th place now from, 17th on the grid. Then Stephen Sutcliffe ahead of Troy Dunlop. Then Ian Flux coming through ahead of Steve Guglielmi. Grant Troman's there is next. And Jamie Campbell-Walter has also got himself ahead of Simon Harris now, going great guns in number 28. Out of Copse. In the meantime, out of Ireland goes the race leader Michael Caine. He's well clear of McKellar, who is still on target to become the 1999 champion, albeit it's going to be decided on a tie. There, spinning out of contention, is Steve Guglielmi. Gets the car going again. That will have cost him another 2 or 3 places at the very least. Mike Jordan there, turning his way out of Abbey. Tucked up behind him is Phil Hindley. Now Mike Jordan is trying to attack for second and defend for 3rd place, although it has to be said, Mike Jordan isn't really attacking that vigorously. All he is doing is shadowing McKellar all the way around Silverstone. It's almost as though he doesn't want to get past him. In some ways, Mike Jordan, therefore, preserving Ian McKellar's championship. He's also, of course, being able to keep Phil Hindley at bay. Now, whether Jordan and McKellar are working together, I'm not sure, but certainly it gives you that impression now, doesn't it? As soon as Phil Hindley gets more vigorous, Mike Jordan just backs off, defends, lets McKellar pull away. Out of Luffield they come now, up through Woodcote Corner. On board with Jamie Campbell-Walter, looking for a way past Richard Finney now as they dive down into the left-hander of Brooklands, the BRDC suite, the new building there on the right-hand side. Jamie Campbell-Walter still sawing away at the wheel, proof of how twitchy these cars are. Mike Jordan turns his way out of Copse, still being chased by Phil Hindley. Richard Stanton turning through there. Steve Cole is ahead. There's a spinner. It's Jeff Evans. Cole goes on the inside and bang! Cole hits it. And also they're ploughing into the side of Jeff Evans' car. That is number 22, Gary Brittle. That was a big, big impact and right into the driver's door as well of Jeff Evans' car. The Silverstone Marshals very quickly on the scene, as in the meantime the battle for second place continues. McKellar, Jordan and Hindley turning their way down towards Abbey. Jeff Evans having spun. Steve Cole was the first man to hit him as he tried to dive through on the inside. Mike Jordan there defending his own 3rd place from number 1, Phil Hindley, as they swing their way through Abbey. They get back on the power now, climbing their way up towards Bridge. Yellow flags out to warn race leader Michael Caine of the troubles ahead. Lap 8 of the race, and locking up there is Bobby Verdon Rowe, heading into Abbey, heading off it. Oh, he stops. He hit something. Now they're in trouble, number 30, Jeff Evans. We know that the car has had 2 big, solid knocks, one by Steve Cole, the other by Gary Britnell, and I suspect that Jeff Evans has been knocked about a bit in that accident. You can see the 3 cars littering the circuit there. The race leaders have to be very, very careful at picking their way past. Not entirely surprisingly, the red flag being shown to stop the race. So with 7 of the 12 laps completed, Michael Caine is going to be declared the winner. He sets the fastest lap. Therefore, second place man Ian McKellar will tie on points with him. And as Michael Caine hasn't had quite as many wins as McKellar, Ian is going to win on the tie-break. As in the meantime, Jeff Evans and Andy Britnell are attended to by the emergency services teams. Somebody else in trouble there at the end of the race, John Reed, having gone off into the gravel bed. A long way off into the gravel bed as well. So, a very dramatic final round to the TVR Tuscan Challenge, and Ian McKellar Jr. crowned as the series winner. Michael Caine celebrates another race win there on the podium. He has an equal number of points to the man on his right. Ian McKellar Jr. is the 1999 TVR Tuscan Challenge champion. He steps forward now to receive the garland. A very happy man indeed. So, at the end of a terrific season of racing, Ian McKellar comes home in second on the track but wins the championship. Race results, Caine, McKellar and Jordan from Hindley and Martin Short in fifth. But on a tie-break, Ian McKellar Jr. is the 1999 champion.